Hello folks, this is Tom Martin. This is my lottery strategy game, Decoding the Powerball guessing game. I'm picking my numbers for the drawing on February 10th, 2018. I have 7 strategies with my game Decoding the Powerball. So strategy number 1, the game card color code. Okay, so what you're looking at is what I call the game card. This represents all 69 white ball numbers in the Powerball lottery. I really don't have anything for the Powerball itself. My goal is to get all 5 white balls correct and win the $2 million prize with the power play option. Okay, so first things first is I'm going to go to the Powerball homepage, and the 5 white winning numbers that just came up were the 23, 34, 35, 40, and 47. Again, I really don't care about the red ball. Okay, so what I do is I take those 5 white winning numbers and I put it at the top of this list. And then I take the last 3 drawings of numbers and I transfer these numbers over to the game card as red numbers. Then I do the same thing with orange, then green, blue, and purple. I have 5 different colors, one to represent each one of the 5 white winning Powerball numbers. So for this drawing here, I have 14 red numbers, 16 orange, 17 green, 10 blue, and 12 purple. And these change with every single drawing. Okay, so over here to the right, this 201, this represents how many color code drawings I kept track of so far. And these are the color code drawings right here. Okay, so out of this 201, 106 have come up a 3-color combination. 73 have come up a 4-color combination. 19 have come up a 2-color combination. And only 3 times in 201 drawings have all 5 colors come up together. Okay, and never has just 1 color come up. Okay, so this number right here, this number 3, this tells me how many colors just came up in the last drawing. So you can see that there's 2 red numbers, 2 purple numbers, and an orange number for 3 colors total. Okay, so since hardly ever do all 5 colors come up together, the strategy is try to guess which one of these colors won't be coming up and eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card. Okay, so for this drawing here, I'm going to guess that no blue numbers will be coming up in the next drawing. And the reason why is because, first of all, it only has 10 numbers that it represents. Okay, and as I look through the past, from this point down to this point, I just see a lot of blue. Okay, so I just think that blue is going to miss in a couple of drawings here. Okay, so there's no blue numbers in the last drawing, and I just don't think there'll be any blue numbers in the next drawing as well. So I'm going to eliminate the blue numbers off of the game card. Okay, so to speed things up, I'm just going to scroll to the right. And this is what the game card looks like so far with no blue numbers to it. Okay, so when I block out a number like this, this means that I'm not even going to consider this number when I'm picking what I think will be the 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm buying a Powerball ticket for $3. That includes the power play. Okay, so I'm betting $3 that none of these blue numbers will come up. Okay, so if I'm correct with my pick and none of these blue numbers come up, I'm 1 step closer to that $2 million prize. Okay, so off to the next strategy. Strategy number 2, the individual numbers. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the individual numbers. Okay, and how this works is up at the very top is the master for all the numbers. And over to the far right are the numbers that just came up in the drawing. It was the 23, 34, 35, 40, and 47. Okay, so that works out to be a 3-group combination. Okay, so I'm going to reduce this down so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so you're going to see that there's 7 groups total. Okay, so group number 1 holds the numbers of 1 through 9. And then it's the teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. Again, for 7 groups total. Okay, so there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so 2 of these groups won't be able to have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so the strategy is try to guess which one of these groups won't have the winning Powerball number to it and eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card. Okay, so how this works and how I use this is this big square right here. This is good for 5 drawings, okay? And I like to break things down into 5 because I want to see how many hits there were in 5 drawings in a certain number group here, okay? So my theory is that if there's a bunch of hits in 5 drawings, that maybe the next 5 drawings won't have so many hits to it, or vice versa, okay? So for this pick here, I'm going to guess that no numbers from 1 through 9 will be coming up, okay? And the reason why is because it just, to me, it goes hot and cold, okay? So you can see that it was cold here, okay? And then it was hot, cold, cold, hot, cold, hot. So I just think it's going to go cold again. So I think that there's going to be a couple misses here in a row. So I'm going to eliminate the numbers of 1 through 9 off of the game card. Okay, so as I blow this back up, before I go, I want to show you a couple things about this. Okay, so again, over here, this number 3, this tells me how many groups it hit. Okay, so you can see that the 23 is in one group, the 34 and 35 is in another group, and the 40 and 47 is in another group, for 3 groups total. Okay, so when I'm looking at this, this helps me able to predict how many groups it's going to be. Okay, so I correctly guessed that this was going to be a 3. Okay, well, basically what I did is I correctly guessed that it wasn't going to be a 4. Okay, so another thing on how you could use this, okay, if you want to scope out a certain number, okay, like the 48, I could come up and I can highlight the 48 and go down and see how many hits there were if it got really hot or whatnot, okay? So that's another way that you can use this, all right? So one way that I like to use this as well is I like to go back and see how many colors were hit recently. Okay, so here's a blue, and then a red and a green. Okay, and as I keep on going down, there's another blue, another green, and here's an orange. Okay, but the one thing that I haven't seen is a purple, like right here, in a very, very long time here. Okay, so maybe this next one in the 48 just might be a purple number. Okay, so that means it's not going to hit for a very long time because it just hit right here. Okay, so I just wanted to show you how I use this. Okay, so again, I'm going to go back to the game card, and I'm going to eliminate the numbers of 1 through 9 off of the game card here. Okay, so you can see that they're all gone. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the 8 is over here. Okay, so why the 8 is over here is because it shares the square with the 66. Okay, so, and why that is because what I'm doing here is I'm keeping track of groups of numbers and trying to guess whether the group is going to come up or not come up in the lottery. Okay, so if I decided to get rid of this whole square right here, okay, I would eliminate the 8 and the 66 at the same time as a group. Okay, so you have to look at these things as a group. Okay, so again, I'm getting rid of 1 through 8. So as a group, I'm getting rid of 1 through 8, but the 66 is still in play. Okay, so it's off to the next strategy. Okay, strategy number 3, picking the numbers I hope will miss from group 1. Okay, so I'm going to go through why those extra numbers are over here off to the side. Okay, so with this group 1, how this works is I divided all the numbers into 4 different groups. Okay, so I keep track of where the winning Powerball lands within this color group of numbers here. Okay, so the stats for this is down here. This is for the red, this is for the blue, the orange, and the green. Okay, so as I go back to the Powerball homepage, the numbers were 23, 34, 35, 40, and 47. Okay, so you can see that the 23 is over here in the blue. Okay, so I had 1 blue down here. Okay, and then the 34 34 and 35 is it orange, so I have 2 orange down here. And then the 40 and 47 is I have 2 in the green. Okay, so that's how I update the stats. Okay, so the strategy is for this group 1 is try to guess where these zeros are going to pop up. Okay, so if I could have correctly guessed that none of these red numbers were going to come up, I could have eliminated all those red numbers, and that would have gave me a huge advantage on picking the 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so I could have reduced the numbers by a lot and just had less numbers to choose from. Okay, so again, that's the strategy, is try to guess where these zeros are going to come up. So I created 15 of these option cards, okay, to give me a bunch of options to try to guess where these zeros are going to pop up. So my first guess is going to be option card number 4, no orange numbers. Okay, so here's option card number 4. Again, I have 15 of these option cards, and I'm going to guess that there's going to be a 0 right here. Okay, so I'm going to eliminate these orange numbers off of the game card. Okay, so as I go back to the game card, I'm going to scroll to the right, and this is what the game card looks like so far. Okay, so as I go back, you can see that this 25, this shares the square with the 65. Okay, so as I go back to this group 1, you can see that the orange is, the 65 and 25 is part of this orange as a group. Okay, so I'm getting rid of the orange numbers, and that includes the 25 and the 65, again, as a group of numbers. Okay, so as I go back, I'm going to scroll back over. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to group 1, and my next pick is going to be option card number 8, no orange numbers. Okay, so here's option card number 8, and the reason why I'm picking this one is because there's a bunch of single blue marks here, okay? And every once in a while it doubles up, okay, or even triples up or quadruples up, okay? So I'm just looking at this, looking at all these single blue marks, and I just think it's going to double up right here, okay? So I think there's going to be a 0 here, and if I'm correct, then none of these orange numbers will be coming up in the lottery, so I want to get rid of them, okay? So I'm going to eliminate those numbers off of the game card. Okay, so I'm going to scroll to the right, and you can see underneath the game card it says Group 1, option card number 8, no orange numbers. Okay, so all those orange numbers are gone. Okay, so as I go back, my next pick is going to be option card number 11, no red numbers. Okay, so this is why I created 15 option cards, so I can give myself as many options as possible on trying to guess where these zeros are going to pop up. Okay, so the reason why I'm picking this one is there's a lot of single blue marks again. Okay, so again, I just think it's due to double up. So I think there's going to be a 0 here. So that means that I don't believe that any of these red numbers are going to come up in the lottery. So I want to get rid of them. Okay, so I'm going to eliminate these red numbers off of the game card. Okay, so those red numbers are gone now. Okay, so I'm going to go back to Group 1. And my next pick is going to be option card number 12. No orange numbers. Okay, so again, here's just a couple of blue marks here. But as I go down, you can see at some point there was a bunch of blue marks in a row here. So if there was a bunch here, then I don't think there's going to be so many up here. Okay, so again, there's 3 of them, and I just think that it's due to miss. Okay, so another thing that I have is this 39. This represents how many blue marks there are in this column here. Okay, so over here in the green, there's 62 blue marks. Over here in the blue, 53, 58 in the red, and over here there's only 39. Okay, so I just think that this has some catching up to do. Okay, and again, I think there's going to be a 0 here. So I don't believe that any of these orange numbers are going to come up in the lottery. So again, I want to get rid of them. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down. And this is what the game card looks like so far. Okay, so if I'm correct with all my picks, and all the picks that I made are correct, and none of those numbers are going to come up, then the 5 white winning Powerball numbers have to be one of these colored numbers that are still left on the board. Okay, so again, the magic word is if. Okay, if I'm correct. So I'm going to go back to group 1, and my last pick is going to be option card number 14, no green numbers. Okay, so here, again, there's been a bunch of single blue marks, okay? And then it doubled up here, and I just think that it's due to double up here as well. Okay, so I think there's going to be a 0 here. So I don't think any of these green numbers are going to come up. So again, I want to get rid of them. Okay, so I'm going to eliminate those off of the game card. Okay, so I'm going to scroll to the left now. And this is what the game card looks like so far. Okay, so I'm all done with group 1. Okay, so now I'm off to the next strategy. Strategy number 4, picking the numbers I hope I'll miss from group 2. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call my group 2 numbers. Okay, so much like group 1, where I divided things into 4 different groups, here I divided things into 8 different groups. Okay, so again, there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so 3 of these groups won't be able to have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so the strategy is try to guess which one of these groups won't have the winning Powerball number to it and eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card. Okay, so how this works is I'm going to blow this up just a little bit. Okay, so here's the stats for the red area right here. Okay, so underneath you can see this 0. That means that none of the 5 white winning Powerball numbers landed in this red area. Okay, and this 2 means, of course, 2 of the 5 white winning Powerball numbers landed in this red area. Okay, so here's where I like to break things down into 5. And the reason why is because it shows me a majority of things. Okay, so here, if there's 3 or more misses or 3 or more zeros, I color this blue for cold. If there's 3 or more hits, I color it red for hot. Okay, so as I go through the history of things, because the lottery is so random, it can't stay hot forever. Okay, so what's hot today will be cold tomorrow. Okay, so again, it just can't stay hot forever. So when I see something that's really hot like this, well, eventually it's going to turn cold, or vice versa. Okay, so for this drawing here, I'm going to guess that there's going to be a 0 right here. So I'm going to eliminate these red numbers off of the game card. Again, because I just don't think they're going to be coming up in the lottery. Okay, so this group of numbers includes the 25 and the 65, again, as a group. Okay, so I'm going to reduce this down a little bit. Go back to the game card. Okay, so I'm going to scroll to the left. And now underneath you can see group 2, option card number 1, no red numbers. Okay, so as I scroll back to the last one, you can see that the only one left was the 41. Okay, so I got rid of the 41. Okay, so I'm going to go back to group 2, and my next pick is option card number 6, no red numbers. So I have 15 of these option cards as well. Okay, and the reason why I made so many is because, again, I want to give myself as many options as possible. And I know with this group 2, I know that there's going to be at least 3 zeros. I know that 3 of these groups won't be able to come up. Okay, so the whole strategy was, when I created this group 2, is just to pick one. Okay, one where I thought the 0 would be, and then pick another one from here, and then another one from here. Okay, because again, I know that there's going to be 3 zeros here. Okay, and the reason why is because there's 8 groups and there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so again, I don't think that any numbers are going to come up in group 6, the red area. Okay, so as I go to the stats, We can go down through, and you can see that things were really hot down here. Now I think they're going to cool off, so I think there's going to be a 0 right here. So I don't think that any of these red numbers are going to come up in the lottery, so I want to get rid of them. I'm going to eliminate those numbers off of the game card. Okay, so I'm going to scroll to the left, and this is what the game card looks like so far. Okay, so as you can see, I'm whittling down the numbers here, one by one, step by step. Okay, so again, it's really important for me to be correct about my picks, about the numbers that won't be coming up. Okay, so another theory of mine too is when you look at the Powerball, there's 69 white ball numbers. Okay, only 5 can come up as winners. 64 are not going to come up. Okay, so I just think it should be easier to pick the numbers that won't be coming up than the actual 5 that do. Okay, so again, I'm going to go back to group 2. And my next pick is option card number 14, no red numbers. So I go to option card 14 here. Okay, here's the red numbers that I'm going to get rid of. Okay, so here's the stats. And as I go back down through the stats, you can see that things got hot a little bit here, and then it got really cold. Okay, and now I think it's just going to go red, blue, or red, blue, or something like that. Okay, so again, I think there's going to be a 0 right here. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of these red numbers because I don't think they're going to be coming up in the lottery. Okay, so I'm going to scroll to the left. And this is what the game card looks like so far. Okay, so I'm all done eliminating numbers here. Okay, so I started off with 69, and now I'm down to 3. 1 is 4. Okay, and 5 over here is 9. So I got 9 numbers left to choose from. Okay, so again, if I'm correct with all my picks, then the 5 white winning Powerball numbers will be in these colored numbers still left on the board. Okay, and again, the key word is if I'm correct. So it's off to the next strategy. Okay, strategy number 5, the 50-50 picks. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the 50-50 picks. Okay, so again, there's 5 white winning Powerball numbers. So there's going to be a majority of either odd numbers or even numbers, or numbers to the high side or numbers to the low side. Okay, so I like to keep track of that and try to guess what the majority will be for the upcoming drawing. Okay, so how this works is this 245. This is how many drawings I kept track of so far. Okay, and that's since October 7th, 2015. That's when the Powerball lottery went from 59 numbers to 69 numbers. Okay, and out of this 245 drawings, 123 have been the majority of odd numbers, and 122 have been the majority of even numbers. Okay, so for this drawing here, since the odds have been so hot, okay, so there's 10, this represents 10 drawings, okay, each one is 5 drawings, and again, because I want to see the majority for each 5 drawings, okay, but out of this 10, you can see that 8 drawings have come up the majority of odd numbers, and only 2 have come up the majority of even numbers, okay, so I'm just going to guess that there's going to be more evens than odds for this upcoming drawing, okay, so as I go forward here, I got high and low. Okay, so the red numbers are in, the high numbers are in red, and the low numbers are in blue. Okay, so you can see that the 66 and the 65 and the 67 are here in blue. Okay, and when those numbers come up, I do record them in the low area. Okay, so it only matters on how you record in the stats. Okay, so I'm not going to pick from high and low, I'm not sure. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next one, and the next one is left and right. Okay, so here you can see that majority is 122 to the left side and 123 to the right side. Okay, so I'm not sure what's going to happen here, so I'm not going to make this pick either. And the last one that I have is this red and blue, and the red is has 139, where it has been the majority, and 106 drawings have been the majority to this blue area. Okay, so for this drawing here, I think the majority of the numbers will be in this blue area. Okay, so again, I think there's going to be at least 3 numbers here in this blue, if not 4. Okay, so one last thing is the Powerball number itself, the red number. Right here, this red number 10. Okay, so there's 26 red numbers total. Okay, so for this column here, a blue number means that it's low, 1 to 13, and a red means it's high, 14 to 26. Okay, and over here, this column, red means that it's an odd number, and blue means that it's an even number. Okay, so just kind of looking at this real quick, you can see that the blue had a little run down here, but then it was single blue, single, 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 now doubled up. I think it's going to triple up. Okay, so I think this next Powerball number will be a low number. Okay, and over here, I just think it's going to be red. Okay, so I think the Powerball number will be a low odd number. Okay, so as I go back to the game card here, okay, so what the 50-50 picks do is, now that I'm down to 9 numbers, now I want to pinpoint what the 5 numbers will be. And these 50-50 picks are designed to do that. Okay, so again, when I pick my what I think will be the 5 white winning Powerball numbers, I want the majority to be even numbers, and I want the majority to be in this blue area. Okay, so as I go on to the next strategy, strategy number 6, picking the numbers I hope will hit from groups 1 and 2. Okay, so as I go back to the game card here, I think there's going to be lots of hits in the blue, green, and brown areas of group 2. Okay, so what that means is, again, I have 15 of these option cards. Okay, and they all kind of look the same as far as red, blue, orange, green, purple, brown, gray, yellow. It's just that the numbers that they represent are a little bit different from each other, from each different option card. Okay, so I have 15 of these red areas, 15 blue, 15 orange, and so on. Okay, so I like to keep track of those 15 option cards as a group. Okay, so I keep that over here in the group 1 stats, just because it's easier to do. Okay, so here as I look at things, okay, again, there's 15 option cards, so the magic number here is 8. 8 is right in the middle of 15. Okay, so if there's 8 or more misses within these 15 option cards, I color this blue for cold. If there's 8 or more hits, I color it red for hot. Okay, so the last drawing in the orange areas, in all 15 orange areas, 10 of those option cards had a hit in there, and 5 of them had misses. Okay, so the one thing that's really sticking out to me here is this green area. Okay, the last one was 8 drawings in a row, whether it was red or blue. So this is a whole new record here. I think this is 11 now. Okay, so I'm going to guess that this is going to be red, which means I think there's going to be a lot of hits in this green area. Okay, I also think there's going to be a lot of hits in this blue area, and I think there's going to be a lot of hits in the brown. Okay, so as I go back, I got blue, green, and brown. Okay, so how this works is, as I go back to the group 2, okay, here's the blue area, and option card number 1, here's the green, and here's the brown. Okay, so as I go back to the game card, I want to see what's left on the game card that matches these blue numbers. Okay, so here you can see the only one left is the 34. So I put the 34 right here. Okay, so this is option card number 1, 2, 3, and so on. Okay, so here in the green area, you can see it's the 4 down to the 60. Okay, so the only one left is the 36 and the 52, so you can see how I marked it off. Okay, and the brown area, you can see that the only one left is the 14. So here's the 14 in the brown, so I wrote it right here. Okay, so I hope you get the drift on that. Okay, so here's what all 15 option cards look like. All right, so now I'm off to the next strategy. Strategy number 7, picking my numbers. Okay, so the numbers that I'm going to go with for this drawing are the 14, 31, 36, 40, and 43. Okay, so with this combination of numbers, this will give me 8 hits, 7 misses in the blue area, 9 hits, 6 misses in the green area, and 12 hits and 3 misses in the brown area. Okay, so if I'm correct with all those picks, okay, these are the numbers that should come up. Okay, so that's what I'm hoping for anyways. So again, the numbers that I'm going with is the 14, 31, 36, 40, and 43. Okay, so, okay, folks, if you like the content on my channel, please subscribe, okay? If you're looking to get my game, you can go to my website at www.patreon.com/Decoding the Powerball, or you can email me personally at decodingpowerball@gmail.com. Again, that's decodingpowerball@gmail.com. All right, folks, I really appreciate you watching, and as always, best of luck with your picks.